And now for our next news special report.
Tonight we've got a story that's sending shockwaves through the halls of power, a moment that left even his closest aides dumbfounded. President Biden, whose grip on reality often seems tenuous, made a remark that set the diplomatic world on fire. While diplomacy is a game of chess, Biden seems to be playing blindfolded. His recent encounter with the president of China has left many wondering, is the leader of the free world really free from his own blunders? This is more than just another gaffe. It's a major geopolitical misstep with potential global repercussions. You don't want to miss our detailed breakdown of this incident and its implications. So stay tuned, because in our final thought, we'll reveal why this isn't just a diplomatic faux pas, but a critical matter for every American citizen. Now, before we dive in any deeper, a quick vital aside. Just like the precision needed in diplomacy, which we'll see was sorely missing in our main story, the same precision is vital in our daily lives, especially in managing our household expenses. And speaking of precision, our sponsors at SavePowerBills.com and actually Don'tWastePower.com, wrong URL, offers an ingenious device, a perfect analogy to what's needed in our leadership. This little gadget, I have it actually right here, which you plug into your wall outlet, stabilizes electrical currents, much like how a steady hand is needed in diplomacy. Not only protects your appliances, but significantly lowers your energy bills. In a time where every penny and every word counts, this device is a must-have. So check them out at Don'tWastePower.com for a 66% discount. Now, as we transition back from our crucial message about managing our expenses wisely, a trait seemingly lost in the corridors of Washington, let's turn our focus to a recent event that has caused quite a stir in international politics. Talking about President Biden's diplomatic debacle turning a high-stakes meeting with the Chinese president. What transpired there was not just a gaffe, a glaring display of the current administration's faltering grip on foreign affairs. Now, Biden, who will soon be celebrating his 81st birthday, has shown signs of cognitive decline, a fact that's been whispered about in the halls of power but rarely addressed head-on by the mainstream media. 4 weeks ago, the world witnessed a concerning episode. Biden, aboard Air Force One, while he appeared disorientated and struggled to form coherent sentences during a press interaction, he spouted a confusing mix of words about mass shootings interspersed with long, uncomfortable pauses. We're going to show you that clip, but what you're going to see later is unbelievable. Let's watch this first.
Virtually every mass shooting, every circumstance where a large number of people have been victimized and lost, I've spoken to. I learned a long time ago what you've all learned in your life. When someone's going through something that is beyond their comprehension, they've ever thought they'd have to go through. If they see someone who they think understands, or maybe been through something not the same but similar, it gives them some sense of hope. And I always get criticized sometimes by my staff because when I go to these events, I stay for 3 to 4 hours and answer all their questions. But it matters. It matters a lot. And look, I'm talking, some of you have gone through a hell of a lot more than I've gone through, and a lot more than other people have gone through, and you understand. So it's just people are looking for just something to grab, something that gives them some sense of hope, and that's, if I can do a little bit of that, then it's worth doing. Done for me. So.
It's really difficult to watch that stuff. Of course, you see Blinken creeping in the background there, and then all the questions about what's going on with his chin. Yeah, never seen anything quite like that before. Now, the concern over Biden's mental acuity isn't just idle gossip, it has real-world implications, as seen as his recent meeting with the president of China. What should have been a clearly orchestrated diplomatic dance turned into a clumsy misstep that could have far-reaching consequences. An off-the-cuff remark, Biden referred to Xi as a dictator. This comment, whether a slip of the tongue or a moment of unintended honesty, has sparked a diplomatic firestorm. Watch.
After today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that you used earlier this year.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that's based on a form of government totally different than ours. Anyway, he makes
He's like, oh, what did I say? I did say it, and he runs away. Now, the response from China was swift and scathing, calling Biden's comment extremely wrong. This isn't just a matter of hurt feelings. In the world of international politics, such words can shift the balance of power and influence. The Chinese administration's fury is understandable given the delicate nature of U.S. Chinese relations. Now, let's not overlook the reaction. This is where it really gets interesting. The reaction of Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who was visibly agitated during the meeting. Watch his face.
Mr. President, after today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that you used earlier this year.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that's based on a form of government totally different than ours.
Well, let's watch that one more time, Brian.
Mr. President, after today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that you used earlier this year.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator.
Oh, look at he's like, oh, he's cringing right there. He's dying right inside, screaming. Now, his body language right there speaks volumes, a mix of disbelief and despair, perhaps wondering how to salvage the situation. It's a telling sign when your own Secretary of State is seen internally screaming. That's a clear indication of the gravity of the situation. And during the president's first meeting with Xi on Wednesday, Biden's handlers, aware of a brewing storm, quickly moved to usher the press out of the room. Watch.
Time to go. We're walking out. And we're walking out. Everyone start walking out. Thank you so much. Everyone's got to head out. Everyone's got to head out. Everyone's heading out this way. So much. Pick it up, heading out that way, guys. Pick it up, heading out that way.
Yeah, so this in itself is a telling sign. Instead of addressing the issue head on, the administration chose to avoid it, hoping perhaps that out of sight would mean out of mind. But in the age of instant communication and viral news, such blunders don't just fade away. And the dictator incident isn't an isolated case. It's part of a pattern of erratic behavior and questionable decision-making that has characterized Biden's presidency. From confusing statements to outright blunders, the president's actions have repeatedly raised questions about his fitness to handle the complex and nuanced demands of international diplomacy. Now, the incident does more than just raise eyebrows. It threatens the very fabric of American foreign policy. Our nation's ability to navigate the intricate web of global politics hinges on the capability and coherence of our leadership. When the president makes such remarks, it sends a message to the world about the state of our republic. And it's not just about Biden's personal reputation, it's about the reputation of the United States on the world stage. And of course, we all know that Xi is, in fact, a dictator. So Biden, for once, was actually telling the truth. But when you saw Blinken's face and his reaction, that's what said it all. And the consequences of such diplomatic faux pas, well, they're not trivial. They have the potential to alter the course of international relations, affect trade negotiations, and impact global security. In a world where words carry weight, the president's words can either build bridges or burn them. And let's be clear, this isn't just a matter of diplomatic etiquette. It is about the safety and security of our nation. In an era where geopolitical tensions are at an all-time high, every word uttered by the president needs to be measured and calculated, and a slip of the tongue can have far-reaching consequences, potentially endangering not just diplomatic relations, but the lives of millions. And Biden's blunder is a stark reminder of the importance of having a steady hand at the helm of the nation. It underscores the need for leadership that is not just well-intentioned, but also well-equipped to handle the complexities of global politics. The president is not a place for a on-the-job training or for a leader who is not fully in command of their faculties. In light of these events, it's imperative to ask, is Biden the right person to lead America through these challenging times? Can we afford to have a leader whose words and actions are constantly in need of damage control? Well, these are questions that every American should ponder as we navigate these troubled waters. As we wrap up the segment, let's not forget the significance of the incident. It's not just a gaffe or a moment of embarrassment. It's a reflection of the current state of our leadership and, by extension, our nation. It's a wake-up call for all Americans to carefully consider the direction in which our country is headed. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's not just about staying informed. It's about being part of a community that values truth, clarity, and the strength of our great republic. Now, in closing, let's reflect on why today's report isn't just another news story, but a matter of national importance. The incident with President Biden and President Xi Jinping goes beyond mere diplomatic embarrassment. It's a stark reminder of the critical role that leadership plays in shaping our nation's future and standing in the world. As Americans, we must demand clarity, coherence, and competence from those who represent us on the global stage. This isn't about partisan politics. It's about integrity and security of our republic. Tonight's story highlights a troubling trend in our current administration's approach to foreign policy, one marked by confusion and missteps. In an era where geopolitical stability is more fragile than ever, we can't afford leadership that falters at critical moments. It's a call to action for every American to stay informed, engaged, and vigilant. Our republic's future depends on it. Let's ensure our voices are heard and our values upheld. Together, we can steer our nation towards a path of strength, dignity, and respect on the world stage.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.